This isn't just Friday night under the lights. It's every early morning, every rep, every ounce of sweat that built this team. We don't play for stats. We don't play for hype. We play for the man beside us, for the name on our chest, for the tradition we carry every time we step on this field. Behind us, a school, a city, a family. In front of us, 100 yards of purpose. Tonight, we don't just show up. We take over. No fear, no doubt, just fire in our hearts and purple in our blood. We are Calvary, and this is our time.
Welcome into a homecoming week edition of the Calvary Coaches Show, live from Trailer Park Pizza Party on Habersham Street with the head football coach of the Calvary Day Cavaliers, Jason Cameron. I am Jeffrey Roberts. The Cavaliers pick up win number 6 on the 2025 season last Thursday on Whitmarsh Island, 42-8 over the Sharks. We've got a great show this afternoon. Kenneth Baker, middle linebacker captain for the Cavaliers. He joins us, as well as strength and conditioning coach, as well as middle and upper school principal Taylor Smith. He also is here to talk a little homecoming. Coach, going back to last week, a 42-8 win over the Sharks. Initial thoughts? That's just another game where you're happy to get in the win column.
Yeah, definitely. You know, every win's a good win. A little bit of a different week. We played on a Thursday. So it kind of speeds it up really, really fast. The game, game approaches you really, really quickly. So had a good week of practice. Again, came out, didn't play as clean as we would like to be honest with you, for Thursday night, but we did just enough to get done. And one of those things, I said a few weeks back, Coach Stroud said it about the film doesn't always look as bad as it did live, and it didn't. We did some good things. We have a lot of short fields offensively. So I think at times it looked like, we weren't executing per se, or the statistics are definitely not going to show it. But it's just because of our starting field position was so kind of short at times. But happy the way we played, and it's always great to get in the win column.
Let's start on the defensive side of the ball, because that is why you guys had such short field throughout the day. Islands, they did not cross the 50-yard line until the third quarter, when you guys were starting to put in the JV and some of the younger guys. Let's start defensively. Only 8 points allowed. That's still an impressive number.
Oh, of course. Doesn't matter who you play. We always want to play swarming. That clip shows it. We want to play swarming defense. We want to get a lot of hats to the football, which we did Thursday night. And we want to cause turnovers, be an opportunistic defense. And we want to, if you want to advance far in the playoff, doesn't matter how many points you score. We've shown that in the past. You have to play good defense. You have to stop the run, and you have to limit the big plays if you want to be successful.
How have you seen not only your players on defense, but your defensive staff, a Coach Miros, a Coach Chumley, the way they've evolved as they learn the team this year?
The best part is all they've kept doing is continuing to preach progress and continuing to get better and continue to pay attention to the small details. We know after Oceanside, we really tackled, that's why I told it on the show, like we really focused on tackling, and we brought that to our practice every day since then. And it's just kind of staying the course and understanding the season is a marathon, and we got to just continue to progress. We had some guys that were young in positions and first time playing certain position, or maybe even first time playing varsity football, so we knew it was going to be a learning curve, and we're hoping to just continue to hit our stride come end of October, come November, and God willing, hopefully December.
It was kind of a unique week because it was a day short. That really does throw a wrench into things. As your guys got to Thursday, the mental preparation, how did you see them go into it, and how did you see them execute?
Focused, I thought we were focused. I thought we had good practice. I think they approached it the right way. I thought it was a great opportunity that, we talked about it at halftime. We talked all week. One of our verses of the month, we talked about being meek, which we kind of translated to being humble. And we talked about that in the second half, about being humble, and some of our starters kind of taking that back seat to some of our younger kids and giving those young kids, a chance to play on a Friday night. Those guys have been cheering them on and encouraging them on from the sideline all season. It was time for our starters to take that step back and be really, really good teammates, be humble, and cheer those young kids on.
Well, that was a 42-0 halftime score that saw the entire of the second half on a running clock, so it was a quick game as well. But just break down some of the numbers. James Mobley, 8 of 11 for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. McBride, 45 yards, 5 of 6
great.
Coming in off the bench. I mean, you look at some of the numbers on offense, and it doesn't show how dominant, because you're only working with 20, 30-yard drives at time. You will say your leading rusher, Jameer Duncan, a sophomore, 3 rushes, 27 yards. In that second half, the offense was able to get in some of those faces. Let's just talk offense as a whole. That was a lot of numbers. What'd you see?
Yeah, it was really windy. If you were there, you didn't realize that James threw his first interception. Great route by Levon Owens, got behind the defense. Ball just kind of hung up on him some. Throwing off his back foot a little bit, which we really, really focused on this week. But it was kind of a difficult night to throw in one direction. You could see how big the wind was. If you watched Grady Shiver kick one direction compared to the other one, he made like a field goal from a kickoff. The wind was whipping, so it was a little bit difficult to throw the ball. we short fields, like you said, so the statistics are not going to be these overwhelming things. So, like I said, we did some good things. That clip right there is my favorite of the day because you don't hear Jalen Hicks in the huddle look at Marlon and say, hey, just follow me. I got you. Get a score. That's kind of the team that we've become.
I mean, spreading the ball around. 13 completions on the night between Mobley and McBride. 7 different receivers.
Yep.
We've talked about it all season long. How, in general, do you think your guys, as you get now into this back third of the season, the confidence level they have in themselves, do you see that in the way they practice and play?
Yeah, I think it's super empowering. In the past, you focus on 1 or 2 guys. The majority of the plays are going to go through at least 1 or 2 guys. Now, you look at it now, like we have full field concepts that we're just go through your progression and make a play. And we got 4, 5 guys, including Jonathan Perry, that could really, really catch the ball on the perimeter. So to me, it's empowering. You think you could get the ball on any play, that makes you go that much harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, with a win like this, Coach, you guys move to 6-1, 5-1 in the region. What are some of your final thoughts as you move on to the next week?
I'll just continue to progress. I was super, super excited about the way, I'm sure we'll get into that later, but super excited the way that we practiced this week, leading up into Johnson, leading into a homecoming where you have some distractions. But, man, our kids are just laser focused. Our Wednesday morning, we practice every Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. The practice today was slated for 1 hour and 51 minutes. We finished in 1 hour and 22 minutes because of our execution. Super proud of this team.
We'll get to the week of preparation for the Adams Smashers a little bit later in the show. But coming up next, it's a man who had his first career varsity touchdown, but he's not typically a wide receiver for the Cavaliers. KB, Kenneth Baker, joins the Coaches Show next. Welcome back inside the Calvary Coaches Show, live from Trailer Park Pizza Party on Habersham Street. Our first guest of this afternoon, junior middle linebacker, KB Kenneth Baker. Just someone who's come on the scene a lot as a mature leader for this team in 2025, KB. Just talk about your background in football. You're mean out there. You're aggressive, but you enjoy doing it. Where'd you get started?
So, I'm from Atlanta, so I played on Little League teams when I was 4. My parents put me in them, but, now it's just, I'm doing it for the love of the game and just trying to glorify God's name through playing football. So, that's just what I'm trying to just do right now. So,
well, when we chatted earlier today, you said that your foundation through anything that you do is for God, through God, because without him, none of this happens. Let's just get into that right away. What about that relationship is so meaningful to you, and how has that matured you as a student at Calvary?
It definitely matured me to be like I can't do things that other people do because like I have a higher standard for myself, and that's the higher standard that God has for me. So it's like I just try to be a leader like on and off the field, and just try to like lead my teammates in a better way, and just try to be like just a better person in general.
Well, that relationship and that leadership has led to a top 15 ranking in the GHSA at the 3A level, 5 sacks in 2025, top 85 in all of the GHSA with 5 sacks, 43 total tackles. We were just talking during the break. You had 10 in the first half against Islands. What about your production? Just gives you the confidence when you read those numbers, knowing there can be more because at times you're only playing a half of a football game.
I mean, it's good to me. I just feel like I just got to keep working harder, and it's just like that all my hard work in the off season paid off, and it's just like it's now just shown on the field. So it's like that's a blessing.
Coach Cameron, KB told me that he saw that there was an opening for just a leader, someone who breaks down the team before the game and after the game. For him, what'd you see switch from sophomore to junior year? Because that is a very large jump across the board when you're in school, especially on the football field.
Just his maturity. We talked about, you used that word maturity. He has matured so much as a young man from his sophomore season to his junior season. He kind of was in a, even from the linebacker position, was in a little bit of a backup role. Not backup because he was a starter and played every single game last year. But, you know, you had your Cutter Powells and your Brody Dawsons, and they kind of like paved the way. And then it was just like there was no drop off. Yeah, even our leadership even grew since he's really fell into this role. And, you know, anytime we need to pick me up, anytime we need something to be said or guys aren't going in the right direction, the first person I say in practice is KB. KB, get us right, and most of the time we are get right.
A lot of your leaders are in that junior class. For him and the guys around him, how important is that group? Because a lot of your production does come from him and his teammates at that age.
You just hearing him talk, you know what I'm saying? He glorifies God in everything that he does. This isn't fake. He's not saying it because he's on a show. It's the person that he is day in and day out. So things like that become contagious. It's people want to surround themselves with KB. If we have guys on campus, you know, touring or this and that, we want KB to be the guy that's going to tour them because he's gonna be real with them. He's gonna show them what a Calvary student athlete looks like and what we want them to look like. A player that comes in and you know, he's like a lunch pail guy, man. He's gonna clock in and he's gonna go to work. He's gonna do it to the best of his ability. And the best part about him is he could admit his weaknesses and his faults too. You know, he wants to get better, and he's just a sponge. He has a great relationship with Coach Myros and Coach Chumley, and he just has this will to want to be the best version of himself every day.
It's really impressive that you can speak on your weaknesses. Something that impressed me, you said that there's an upside and a downside to being such a big leader on a football team because your teammates are always looking at you. You said that last year you maybe were a little more aggressive and a little more emotional on the football field. How have you dialed that back, but have only furthered your aggressiveness? Because there's a fine line with that.
Like with football, like I try to get my emotions in it, but not too much. Like last year, I felt like I was too emotional, like in big games, like Jenkins. I remember Coach Cameron had to tell me like, "Hey, chill out," like, cause I was so riled up. But like now it's just like I can't be as riled up because I know like they're looking at me. So me being riled up, around my teammates suck. So it's like, oh, KB can do it, so now I can. So it's like I just try to control myself on that aspect and just try to be more of a leader. Like, hey, okay, it's a little adversity. Like, calm down, we good. Like. That's what I just try to tell my guys.
Well, it's led to some impressive performances in the football field. You're being recognized at the college ranks. Where are you at? What are some offers that excite you right now as a middle linebacker? But then one thing that I want to touch on the academic side of your college offers, because you said, Granddad, make sure that I look at the majors before I go take a visit. What do you want to get into academically, and why are you excited to go play college football?
So I want to major in physical therapy and sports medicine. So every visit, I've been on a couple visits like this couple of past months. So like these past like visits, my granddad always made me look up like, okay, does this college have the major you want in? Like, how is it? Like, how does it look for you? Or is it anything that you want to do from this college? So. Like Syracuse has a big sports management thing. So when I went there, he made me look up like things in sports management if I ever wanted to get into that. Yeah. And things of that nature. So like that was good.
Well, I know that you're going to be moving on as a linebacker at the next level, but from last Thursday, there's maybe a new bit of tape you might want to put on that reel as a tight end. His first career varsity touchdown catch. We have the video right here. It's out of this power T formation. KB, tell us how you got so wide open, because that's not the first time you've ran that play this year, but it's the first touchdown for you.
So like we run power T almost every week, like goal line. That's our goal line set. And this week, Coach Cam, he just spilled off of it. He was like, "Are we running the slip?" And it's basically Jonathan Perry. You can see at the bottom, like he's the one running the flat route. So if the safety comes to me, he's gonna be wide open. But if the safety comes down, he's gonna miss me in the back of the end zone. And they just walked up. So like, before I seen it, and he just threw the ball.
Coach Cameron, to see a guy who doesn't normally put up points for the team be able to put his hands up. There's a little bit more celebration after the video cuts off, but just to see the excitement out of guys like that.
Coach Shumley probably hated it. You know what I'm saying? He hated it. Right away it's you're linebacker first, Bo. You know what I'm saying? You got that part. But, listen, he's a versatile guy, man. I love seeing that. We just executed a play perfectly. We put it on Thursday, we put it on Wednesday, executed it on Thursday. And it's just awesome to see guys, excel when we practice things.
All right, KB, it's homecoming week. One final thought. How excited are you to be playing in front of the home crowd, a really raucous Calvary crowd on Friday?
It's great. Like, all the alumni coming through. We have the catwalk with, what you said, the 10U all the way up.
All the way up through 12th grade.
It's a blessing for all of the kids to just come and see us and all the alumni coming back. So we just got to be prepared this week.
It's an exciting week. Appreciate you, KB.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for coming on the Coaches Show. Our guests are not done for the afternoon. Coming up, it's principal of the middle and upper school as well as strength and conditioning coach for the Cavaliers, Taylor Smith. That's next on the Calvary Coaches Show. Bluffton Fence and Gutter is a proud partner of Calvary Day Athletics. Well, I didn't get the gray T-shirt memo from the two over here. It sounds like that they had a call before they came on the Coaches Show. But nonetheless, it's Taylor Smith, a principal at Calvary Day School, as well as the Director of Sport Performance and Development. Is that the
sir.
official
Yes, sir.
title?
Yes, sir.
Well, you're someone who's very involved in the school. Obviously, from an academic standpoint, that's probably what your day-to-day is. Just talk about how you got to Calvary and what that day-to-day, week to week looks like for you.
Gosh, guys, how much time we got for that question?
There's no time limit on the coaches show.
Look, that's awesome. That's awesome. Look, coming to Calvary. Look, I came to Calvary 5 years ago. I transitioned down with Dr. Chadwick, the head of school. We worked together for a long time, leading into coming down to Calvary, and I have so much respect for him as a mentor and as a man. And look, he reached out to me and called multiple times and said, "Hey, will you come take the position of head of middle school?" And me, in the background I have doing administration work and strength conditioning, I turned it down. I turned it down initially. He called me again in the spring, and at this point, I just had my second child, and I said, "Hey, unless I get the weight room, I'm not coming. I'm not coming unless I get the weight room." And he called me back. He said, "Hey, I got the weight room open. Middle school's open. Come down and take over both of those for us." So I said, "Hey, you got it." I came down 2 days after I had our second child and toured and kind of got to be a part of the community and walk around a little bit. And it's like what you guys talk about every single week. The culture and family atmosphere of Calvary is what drew me. It what drew me every single day to want to come to work and excited about it. And so we moved my whole family down from Atlanta. And since we've been here, I've been in charge of the middle school for 2 years, and in charge of the weight room. And then I just transitioned probably a year and a half to where I'm in charge of the middle school and the upper school, which just means, hey, I get to hang out with kids from 6th grade through 12th grade, develop lots and lots of relationships with them, walk through a lot of tough things in life with them as they walk through, hey, what's my identity, what I want to do after college, defining what their faith journey is going to look like. And then just pour into teachers that love kids, love what they're doing, and ultimately want to grow the kingdom. So look, it's been an awesome transition. And then when life allows me to, with all the things going on, administrative work, being in classrooms, handling curriculum, things like that, I jump into the weight room. The goal is to try to get in there at least a class a day to hang out. Coach can tell you that might not always happen. But I at least try to get in there. And if I'm not in there during the day, then generally after school, I'm running the strength conditioning academies for our little kids, or I'm training all of our other sports teams outside of football during that point.
That's a lot on your plate on a basis on Calvary Days campus. Coach Cameron, now to you, the sliver that you get of him from a strength and conditioning standpoint, that expertise he brings, how impactful has that been for you as a coach here the last few years, and what does that do for not just your program but all of our athletes?
Listen, all of our programs perform at a high level because of what the programs that he designs and what we do in that weight room, what we do out on the field, what we do in conditioning in the summertime. It's all designed by him. So we're better programs because that. We tell families when they tour, we don't only have college equipment. We have a college level sports performance programs that we run here. So my favorite part though is Coach is relationship driven, and he has a relationship with every single one of our players. When our players get hurt, funny thing that he talks about is he goes back and looks at the workout and sees how many times muscles contract. Like, I'm like, this is crazy, because he wants to know why they're injured, what he can do to get them back. We have a player, Braxton Bell's been hurt. He's been with him in his rehab process of making sure that he doesn't hurt something else, because he's been in a walking boot. So he's so much more than just a pushing weights guy, you know what I'm saying? So he just makes all of our programs so much better.
Where'd you get that from? When did that start, and the desire to not only do it for yourself, but to be an expert for other people?
Yeah, look, before my life and education, I was a nurse in the medical field for a little bit. So I got to work on that side, and look, I wanted to move to preventative side, and I love working with people and watching people grow and develop. And so for me, spending my entire life in sports performance and things like that, when I had an opportunity to dive in and work with young men and women to watch them chase after their goals, because something I'm super excited about. So not just in their day-to-day of how they accomplish things in the classroom, but in the weight room, like Coach talking about me diving back in and looking at all those different aspects of it. That's a true statement. Like, when I write programs, I'm writing it based off how does every single muscle contract. And when I go back through after we finish a program, and I look at data and say, hey, how are we progressing? I make adjustments based off of that. Look, me being in the role I'm in, yeah, I want to raise Calvary's level of excellence, not just in Savannah, but nationally. The only way we're going to do that is we're offering something that other schools can't offer. And so, look, we just did the entire weight room. I traveled around to a bunch of colleges, checked out what they're doing, to see how are they setting things up, what type of equipment are they using, what type of technology are they using that'll give us the edge on the things that we need. And we had a massive donor come in and let us redo that and set everything up. So when you come into our weight room, it looks similar to what you would see at a Georgia, at a Alabama school. I traveled to Duke and checked out what they got going on. So we developed some of those things and put them in place. The next tier is, hey, how can we look at all the other aspects of the things that we're doing in strength conditioning and things like that, of nutrition, like how are we trying to put on weight and how are we trying to maintain weight throughout the season. Look, I got 2 guys that come up to me at the game Friday night at Islands, was like, Coach, I got to get on more weight. I got to work through some of these things. And on Sunday and Monday, they're sending me screenshots of every single thing that they're eating, and we're making adjustments and things like that. 2 years ago, I think we took Caden Arnold, and I put on 26 pounds for him in the season. And so we're coming up with ways to try to move that in, where we have the cafe where the kids can go and get healthy protein options. We're trying to move it into the strength conditioning classes in between classes, where they can go and grab things that are going to allow them to put on size, develop more, be more explosive, all the things that they need to be able to do, perform on the field, but also just healthier lifestyles and in the classroom as well.
Coach Cameron, you have to collaborate with a lot of people who have a lot of roles around a football program, especially when you are a K through 12 school like Calvary. What about the collaboration with a strength coach and what he has done specifically? You have a face and a name for that, but the strength coach in general with a head football coach, that's a collaborative thing, because a lot of what you preach does not happen without him. What is that relationship from your viewpoint?
Oh, our relationship is great, and it's been great for me because, you know, we could all run weight rooms. I could have a whistle, and I'm high energy in everything I do, so I could go in there and run a weight room. I don't understand the
Whistle's
science
on your neck right now. So.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand the science behind it. You know what I'm saying? This guy understands the science behind it. He has a method to his madness, per se, of why we're doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's so important. Like I said, I could go in there and run a weight room right now and be super high intensity, but do I truly know what I'm doing? That's his expertise, and that's my favorite part about Calvary. There's no egos in anything that we do. You know what I'm saying? We got people, the right people in place doing the right things, and it's all for the betterment of our kids. What Coach is talking about, it's not just for football. I would say 90% of the schools across the country, their strength and conditioning is built around their football program. We have female athletes that are doing specific workouts to make them better. That's what separates Calvary from every other school in the country.
It's just different.
It's just
but you know what's different at Calvary? Homecoming week. We're
Love
going to bridge that one. Mr. Smith here, he is very integral in helping plan homecoming week around Calvary on top of everything else. It's it's different. I'm a public school kid from Detroit, Michigan. Homecoming really isn't a thing. Down here, 80%, 75% of the student body are in fun costumes.
Yeah.
That's a high percent. Homecoming around here, what is it? Why is it so energetic?
Look, a lot of the things that has to do with homecoming week that make it so special, it's kind of what Coach is talking about, those relationships that we have. Look, on Friday night, Coach talked to the football players and said, hey, look, I know a lot of coaches don't love homecoming week because there's a lot of distractions behind it, but enjoy it. Get involved in it. And when you have coaches like that and have faculty members that are so engaged in it, look, it makes it something special. It makes it incredible. I've worked at a lot of schools, and me and Dr. Chadwick actually talked about this earlier this week. He's worked at a lot of schools. Look, if we could take what Calvary does during homecoming week and sell it to other schools, we would make a massive profit off of it. It's just special. It's just special because, yeah, we have all these students that are engaged and participating, and it's dress ups. A lot of schools have dress ups and things like that throughout the school year for homecoming week, but homecoming week kind of stops after that. For Calvary, it doesn't. Look, Calvary is it is a whole nother level of what it looks like for culture wise, where yes, we have dress downs and things like that. Yes, we might have a parade like another school might have, but we have so many layers that are ingrained in our middle school and our upper school with just games and participation and things like that. Like yesterday, our upper school girls participated in a powder puff. Look, to get a whole group of girls from 9th through 12th grade to get on a team, collaborate together, and work together to win, and participate even there. It's something special. And while they're doing that, I have the entire middle school that is in the gym doing class games. So they're doing balloon pops, Oreo races. They're doing basketball shoot-offs. They're doing musical chairs, all these fun little things. And then today being a special day because it was TV movie character day, and tied around there is our family feud at Calvary. So middle school and upper school have a family feud event. And based off the best dress, you get to participate. And I don't know what it is about Calvary and the culture, but we got a lot of competitive kids that want to compete, participate, and be engaged. And so it creates an awesome atmosphere. And when we talk to alumni, and we had an engagement here last week talking to alumni, one of the big things that people talked about was homecoming week. That's the thing they asked about of, hey, are you guys still doing class games? Do you guys still do powder puffs? Do you still do family feud? How are all the different games evolved? Are the seniors still dominating those things? And are we giving away trophies? Well, yeah, we do all those things. It's just a special event when you got people that have been out of the hallways at Calvary, but still involved, super fired up and excited about homecoming week. It makes it special. It makes it feel like a family, and it makes it feel like no matter when you graduated, when you come back here in homecoming week, you're part of the family like you never left.
Well, earlier today, I saw Coach Cameron laugh harder than I think I've ever seen. Yesterday, KB is coaching Powder Puff in a hot dog costume. That's just the mentality of Calvary on homecoming week. Why is it important, the large mission of Calvary? I think you can kind of look at it with a magnifying glass this week. What does this week exemplify about what Calvary is?
Look, Dr. Chadwick talks about it anytime he meets with all of our families. And the number one thing that we sell as a school is relationships. And those relationships that we're selling are ultimately just to grow the kingdom. And things like homecoming week, spiritual missions week, football, basketball, those are all just things that are lures to draw people in to ultimately do what our calling is as a school, which is to grow the kingdom. And so when we have opportunities like this to engage with kids, participate with kids, come around kids, and just shut down the noise of life and all the craziness that comes with it, and just rally around each other for a common cause, for a common purpose, it makes it special. And it's a huge emphasis of why Calvary can truly say, hey, we want to be best at relationships. It's what we practice daily.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Coaches Show.
Appreciate it, fellas.
7:30 this Friday, an exciting homecoming football game for the Cavaliers. He'll be on the sideline. I will say this. My favorite part about Thursday, that first coach that was high-fiving players out of the locker room was you.
Always. Always.
All right. We appreciate you. We'll see him first out on Friday, a 7:30 kick. But the Coaches Show, they wrap up after this commercial break, live from Trailer Park Pizza Party. Well, in just over 48 hours, the Cavaliers will kick off against the Johnson Adams Smashers. It's homecoming week for Calvary Day School. The 2-5 overall, 2-4 in region play. Adams Smashers coming in to the SSC. Coach, it's an aggressive team, someone that has firepower on offense. Talk about the game plan, how you've seen them.
Can't give up the big play. We had a, we talked about that all week. Quarterback, they ad-lib really, really well. You get a broken down play, so you essentially did your job defensively. Now it's almost like you got a job number 2 and kind of corral their quarterback. Really, really athletic. They have, multiple receivers. So here's the thing about Johnson, and it's been since 2011 since I've been in Savannah. They're going to have athletes now. They're going to have guys that could run. They're going to have guys with good ball skills, guys that just, can make a play out of nothing. So that's a big thing for us is we got to do the initial job, which is, that initial stop. And then, when that ad-libbing starts or that scramble starts, we got to do that second job and come up, make a tackle, and limit big plays.
Johnson picking up a couple wins this season, still trying to find consistency. You mention it every single week that every game Calvary plays is a region championship. You get the opponent's best every time. Does that give you a juice a little bit, knowing that they're going to circle a Calvary game every year?
Of course, it gives you that little extra because we know, and we preach it to our players all the time. Like we're not good enough to take a week off of playing hard. We're not. We don't coach well enough. We don't play well enough. Like every single week's got to be our best week. And then on top of it, when you have teams that we are their Super Bowl, or we are, circled on their calendar, it gives that little extra that like we gotta make sure that we play our best, or on a homecoming like we're talking about in front of alumni, in front of Cav 1 members, in front of teams that people that really, really support us. All of a sudden you're in a dogfight, or you even get upset in that fourth quarter because you chose not to play your best.
But it sounds like your team practicing really well right now. You guys, you see, it seems like every week a few times you say, I'm really happy with the way we practice. Maybe some mentally lax moments against Islands. How do you reel them back in? Because today was a great practice. How do you make sure that mental ability during practice translates on a Friday?
You try to make practice harder than the games. That's always our goal. We want Friday night to be. I'm not gonna say easy because it's never easy, but a little bit less chaotic, a little bit less than what we give them Monday through Wednesday. But it's just playing our brand of football. I say it every week. Our brand of football. You never question how hard our guys play. Now we just got to play a cleaner game. It's just simple as that. And we've showed that what we're capable of doing. Monday through Wednesday and Thursday in practice. Now we just got to put it all together on a Friday.
Well, it's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff from the SSC in just over 48 hours. An exciting night altogether. Coach, the Cav Walk, a new tradition this season. It's moving up a little bit earlier in the evening, but it won't just be the varsity team this time around.
Yeah, Friday night's gonna be amazing. We're honoring the state championship baseball team, which is amazing. You know what I'm saying? We're giving them I believe they're getting their rings.
Yep, 7 o'clock.
Awesome group. They were so much fun to watch play. Coach Lee treated that. Coach Lee, the job that he did with that team was awesome. Coach Gross was part of that staff, so super excited for them to get the honored pregame. Alumni back on campus. I told our kids today, I said, it's homecoming. Yes, we get to do all the fun stuff that Coach Schmidt talked about. But what I told them was, you might have somebody that watches you play for the first time. I told them how my 9-year-old Jackson, these guys are celebrities to him. Like he loves these guys like brothers, and he looks up to them and stuff. So I said, if picture that 9-year-old in the stand that only get to watch you play once. I said, make them proud of what they watch. Make them leave saying, wow, number 5's a great player, or I loved watching such and such play. I said, that's a choice that we can make, but it's going to be a super fun atmosphere. Speaking of the Cav Walk, it's going to be pushed up this week because of us honoring baseball. So I believe it's about 6:20, getting that parking lot and cheer our guys on. But we're going to have our 10U Crusader football team all the way 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th, and obviously our 9th through 12 all walk together as one team, one Calvary. And we're going to walk through that parking lot and take the field together.
It's a lot of wins among those young men and boys in the pads that you're going to see.
Absolutely.
Well, also an exciting week for Calvary Middle School football. On Monday, the SPAL Championship at Memorial Stadium, 5:30 for 5th and 6th, 7 o'clock for 7th and 8th. Backtracking a little further with the age group, got to give a shout-out. Coach Cameron's son.
Yeah, he did.
First tackle.
Yeah, first solo tackle. First solo tackle. I missed it, unfortunately, but Mom was there. He got to the field, and that was kind of the first thing that he said. But it's that's why I love the game of football. I love the game of football. It's hard, and there was probably times where he wanted to quit. I did not make him play. It was kind of like a little bit of a week trial thing. And he looked at me and said, "You want to play?" He said, "Daddy, I want to play." And he had his tears, he's had his celebrations, but it's been such a learning curve for him. I'm proud of anything he does, but watching the excitement he came to Island Stadium after his game and to tell me that he got that tackle was awesome.
Well, it's special. All right, Coach. 7:30 Friday against the Johnson Adams Smashers for the 2025 homecoming football game for the Cavaliers. We're all set from here from Trailer Park Pizza Party, but don't forget, after the game, you can come here, all Calvary families, 50% off cheese and pepperoni pizzas immediately following the Cavaliers and Adams Smashers. For the head football coach of the Cavaliers, Jason Cameron, I am Jeffrey Roberts. We'll talk to you next week.